Let's talk endgame for solo queue. This video is based on my experience climbing to top 10 multiple times in solo queue. You may not agree with everything I say in this video, and that's okay. However, this was a hard video to make since making a how to win video, simply put, is impossible. You see, PUBG is a very situational game. Every single move you make will most likely change and determine the outcome of your game. However, in this video I will be showing you different strategies, 2 different clips of how I played the end game in the end of this video, and then some tips on how to play the end circles. Different methods you can use with the shit shacks, bushes, other fun stuff. We will not have focus on early game, that's an entire different subject. My fall feed is such a good thing to learn how to use. If you can learn to master that or just get a feel for it and use it to your advantage, you can get so much information late game. As we see, this guy just got killed by the UMP. We heard it. It couldn't have been more than 2, maybe 300 meters away. Max range is 400 for the UMP. And we see I'm leaving my body totally open here for 3 nades straight. All landed perfectly, but I didn't get the kill. Now, if I'd have just glanced down, then maybe I thought, now, well, he's probably dead. We do take fire from the UMP too, but I'm being a shitfuck. I didn't notice, and that kind of fucked up my game a little bit, because now I have 2 enemies, potentially. So yeah, if you can learn to use the kill feed down there to just glance up, maybe that guy, he killed 2 guys, then you know, okay, that's the same guy, because bullets were heard at the same time as he shot 2 different targets. So try to notice player names and weapons in the kill feed late game. One thing's for sure, bushes are strong as fuck. Now there are different types, and of course you always want to go on the biggest bush. But as we see here, I see this crate and I see the body, so that means that guy has been killed not too long ago. I don't really pay that much attention to it, even though I should have. And what you probably haven't seen yet, as I hadn't seen, as I see, yeah, that happens. Look at the bushes, pay attention to them, and use them yourself because they are really strong. Now in this next clip, he's in the bush to the right of the tree. Even when I edited this clip, I could not freaking spot this motherfucker. You really gotta pay attention to them. Now for the good bush, there's 2 different types. The small one and this tall one. Now this one made me think there were 3 different types, but I'm pretty damn sure there's only 2. This one just makes it seem so weird because it depends on how far it sticks up. If it sticks really far up, people might be able to spot your feet, but if it's down in the ground, then goddamn, you got a thick ass bush to hide in. So in this one clip, I crashed my car trying to get to a place where I wanted to loot. I sat in this fucking car for so long, killed one guy here, just because he was out in the open. And at one point, an entire fucking army showed up and battled it out here. Now I could have joined, but I figured this was just too good. But the point of this part is actually to talk about planning ahead. So see, right now we have 5, soon to be 4 left. So I wanted to clear this uphill first, so I could lay down here, chill my pants off, slowly get into the circle. Now we hear the silencer guy down here, and those 2 guys battling it out. 2 others left. The other guy just gave his position, so I know one guy is over there to the east, and one guy is just to the left of us. So my plan in my head is already going, what the fuck am I going to do? So I figured the next circle is going to be over there. So I want to kill this guy to the left of us and then rush that little hill. Because if I can get over there, then I'm in the circle. And I can lay behind the hill but without being spotted by the other guy with the AKM. I even hear him step eventually here. There it was. So I know he's close and there's no reason for me to move right now, since nobody knows where the fuck I am. I haven't made a sound. So don't give your position away if it's not needed. Play it cool, we still have a lot of time on the meter before the circle starts to move. So eventually just let them move before you move, as we do right here. So now the plan kicks in, we gotta get boosted up, because they're not gonna be useful after the game. And here comes the running man. And then straight to the little hill. So now we have full vision, and we can actually spot him going aggressive. Cha-ching. Shit shacks are very viable in my opinion. I like them as long as they're out in the open, and when you use them to, well, kill anybody you hear nearby. I heard this guy up here shooting at someone else, so I figured let's go take care of him right away. After that, back to the shit shack, chillax, all cool. Now I do only go in them if they're in the open and I can spot everywhere around me, and I prefer them over houses because I can cover every angle. From a house you cannot always cover every angle, but you can hear people stepping outside. But I personally prefer the shit shacks over houses. So for this next part, I have two different endgame scenarios of how I played it differently. Now I would have taken a third with the vehicle, but it's such a different way that you play it with a vehicle every single time. So instead I have one on foot and one where we pretty much stay within the center of the circles. In this example, we landed up there, had no vehicle available, got looted up a little bit, and started running. When I don't have a vehicle, I want to get to the center of the circle as soon as possible. Maybe get a vehicle on the way, but I just couldn't find any, except for this boat. So what we did was grab this boat and sail our way to freedom. Now boats are a bit dangerous to use, especially in these close quarter waters, because you're not that hard to hit compared to out in the ocean. They're more viable to use there in my opinion. So basically the plan is to just go all the way into the city and just hope that we find a car or maybe get some more loot, because right now I'm pretty shit on loot. So after a good way or boating, sailing, we get to the city. And here I'd simply dump the boat, because now I'm in the center of the circle. The next circle is pop, and I decide to go for a looting spree, because as I said, I didn't get them a lot at the other place. But yeah, you could win a game with what I have, but since I was here and the doors were closed, I figured let's go and try to get some more before we need to push again. Because right now we are centered with nothing else to do than loot. So after that, we got a 8x scope, we got silencer for the AR, we're good to go. Now getting a silencer completely changes my game style. I go for every single fucking kill I can. Even though late game you still can't be heard with the silencer and people can still pinpoint your location if they're close enough. But I just see it as one of those things that can grant me a shitload of kills. Now this is where the talk comes in with shit shacks. I would like to go in that one, but I hear this motorcycle, so I'm thinking, okay, there's a guy inside of that specific hut. So I figured, hey, let's go try and do a copy on that motherfucker and take over maybe. Slowly sneak our way up, throw 2 nades, because spoiler alert, I missed the first, because these hit markers are on point. There we go. Now sadly there was nobody inside, which meant this motorcycle was just left here. So I figured, well, since this motorcycle is bucking as fuck, why not go outside and use that as bait for any other players that might show up, because they may be thinking the same thing that I just thought, that a guy's inside. So if I can get a visible range such as here, I can still see the hut and I can hear the fucking annoying motorcycle. Pretty much this is the best bush that you can sit in. So as we talked about earlier with these bushes, this is one of the tall ones, but it's so far in the ground that it's really thick. I'm gonna be almost impossible to spot here, which grants me a lot of opportunity to just sit here, spot, as example, this guy or any other guy in my field of view, because I can spot this entire hill system. We spot one guy here, we have the silencer put on the 8x, We might as well go for the kills. And that's basically my plan here. Just sit in this bush with a good field of view and snipe anybody I can with my silenced AKM. Because that is my playstyle when I have a silencer. It's just try to grab as much as you can while you're at it. Now we are getting lucky with the next circle too here. So there's no fucking reason for us to move. We see one guy down there. Still no reason to move. We're in a good spot. And for the next circle here, it's gonna start moving. Now we start to get some information of where people are. They start shooting at each other. And then we spot this little guy. Bye-bye. There we go. And I always switch to my SMG, regardless of silencer or not, when I'm in a bush, because it's smaller and I like to have it out in case somebody comes up to me that I haven't spotted. Then if I need to shoot a bit further distance, I can switch over to the AKM without any trouble and take that fight. But for now, we're just gonna chill here till we spot this little maggot. See, two other guys that close to us. Now, we know where this guy is because we just heard the silencer. That was an AR silencer about 100 meters out. No issue hearing where it was. So silences does not make you a king late game. However, SMG silences can only be heard from 100 meters out, so he would have been completely silent with one of those. So think about that if you have two types of silences, as I do, even though I use the AKM. And still no reason for us to move, so we might as well just boost up. And now we see this guy. And I'm pretty sure he sees us too, but yeah. As you see, as in my other video, always look to the left of the tree because most people peek right, even though he wasn't really peeking there. And then we're down to one. Now, I was kind of blind here. I'll let you see if you spot him before me. You probably will. I'm busy looking at every other tree in the distance. But, works out. That's one way. And for the second game, I landed in the water town, which is my favorite spot to land in currently. I have noticed an increasement of people landing here, but still. I got really lucky with the circles. They just kept popping up, so I figured, well, I have loot now, so let's just go up here and wait. Because this is to show an example of just how to go for the win, the late game circles with no impact on hunting players or any of that fun stuff. See here, we did have a silencer too, so we were able to pull some plays that we otherwise wouldn't have. Because if we did not have a silencer up here, then everybody would be able to spot exactly where we were shooting from. But with a silencer, it's hard to determine whether it's upper or below, if they're even within range to hear it. We even had a little sneaky guy pass by. And another one. Now this is why you do not hide in these half shit shacks. Cause our shit's about to blow the fuck up. Kaboom. Kaboom. I'd say look pretty damn cool. Peace. So yeah, from this tower with the silencer, I was able to get quite a few kills, and here in the next circle too, I'm good to go. Now, it is worth the notice that I did not win this game, but I feel like it's important to not only show the winning games, because yeah, sure, some guides do that, but you will not win every single game that you play. It's just that simple. So instead, take an example as this one where I can say, well, this is what we should have done differently. Now in this situation, there was a guy in this house. And I really didn't want to fight him, because if I fight him now, well, he's going to hear me into the building without doubt. And I know there's a guy on this hill behind me too. So instead, I choose to lay here and just stay here. Now throughout this time, the guy's moving around a little bit. He starts shooting and actually ends up, when pushing out of the house, to get himself killed, which leaves me an open area. As we see here, when we skip a little bit in the clip, he's gonna start to push out. Got himself killed. Too fucking bad. Now this means that we know there's one guy in front of us and one to the right of us. Planning ahead, I want to go to that hill and hide behind, but that means that I'm gonna have to challenge one or two guys at least. There we get the first. Start looking for the second. We know he's somewhere around to the right. Could be more on the hill too. It's kind of one of those really bad positionings endgame where you have to push in a really open area. But somehow I managed to make it to the next circle. Until we had some more poopers show up. Now this next circle is really bad for us. We get one and then instantly another guy comes to the party. This is where you probably want to have it on auto instead of that click, 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 tap, tap. So one other guy left, and in my head I just couldn't figure out how to push this guy, because I had a feeling that he was going to be to the south, southwest, or all the way to the west. Now, how do we get down from here? What I probably should have done and didn't do is just to run down, try to get the guy to shoot at me, and then hopefully pick the battle and win. What I did do was this. Completely open, very stupid move. I should have run out in the open and try to get the fight. That's it. He's over there behind the hill to the south of us, and by crawling I gave him a free headshot. Rather take the fight. If you have to push such an open spot with nothing to hide behind, run out into the open instead, because then they probably will miss one or two shots and you'll have at least a chance of redeeming yourself. Thank you very much for watching, guys and girls. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Let's grow this community.